Joyful adventure on its come, join the ride. Joyful adventure.
Hello explorers and welcome back to Joyful Adventure Audit. Today we're continuing our series on Birmingham's lost and forgotten buildings. We're at the corner of Powell Street and Summer Hill Road in Birmingham, looking at what was once a magnificent piece of the Jewellery Quarter's heritage, the Century Buildings. Just look at this place. Grade 2 listed, over 225 years of history within these walls, and yet here it stands in 2025 abandoned, covered in graffiti, windows smashed, slowly crumbling away. It's another example of Birmingham's incredible heritage just sitting here, lost to time. You know, someone once said Birmingham will be nice when it's finished. But that's the thing about this city, it's never finish. It's like one massive, ever-changing building site. Work happening everywhere at different times, while gems like this are left to deteriorate. Let me tell you a bit about what we're looking at. Parts of Century buildings date back to around 1794, that's Georgian era. It was originally built as a residential house for the Orton family. By 1810, it was occupied by Henry Adcock, who was a jeweller, gilt toymaker, and button and bead manufacturer. In 1901, these buildings were purchased by the Ahronsberg Brothers, who were jewelers. They converted the premises into a goldsmiths and jewelry manufactory. The building evolved over time into an E-shaped plan that incorporated the original house from 1794 as part of the East Range, with extensions added to the north and south. The Ahronsberg Brothers, who later became known as the Albury Brothers, were known for making ornate sliding postage stamp cases, brooches, and serviette rings. They even crafted a Victorian sterling silver diamond Jubilee commemorative spoon that was listed for sale at £750 back in 2020. There was actually a post office next door that eventually moved into part of this building in 1940. The Century buildings were finally recognized for their historical significance and added to the Grade 2 National Heritage List in April 2004. Back in 2022, there were plans submitted to Birmingham City Council to transform this site. The proposal was to convert it into 26 apartments and a 12-bed apart hotel. The developer, Saracens Construction Limited, had plans to renovate and restore these Grade 2 listed buildings. But here we are in 2025, and as you can see, nothing has happened. The planning application was registered in November 2022, with the council typically making decisions within 8 to 13 weeks. Yet nearly 3 years later, the Century buildings continue to deteriorate. And it's not the first attempt to save this place. Previous planning applications were approved in 2003 and 2004 for residential apartments, but never progressed due to viability grounds. An application for student accommodation was made in 2011 but withdrawn. In 2019, there were plans for a hotel, also withdrawn. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why are there so many historical buildings in Birmingham left to rot like this? All this history just sitting here, slowly being erased. The Jewellery Quarter is supposed to be a conservation area of international significance, yet buildings like this are allowed to fall apart. Urban explorers documented the interior back in 2016, and it was already in bad shape then. We can only imagine what it looks like inside now, nearly a decade later. We want to acknowledge that we're sharing some of those interior photographs from the urban exploration website 28 days later for educational and historical purposes only. We don't own the copyright to these images, and full credit goes to the original photographers who documented this piece of Birmingham's history before it deteriorates further. So what do you think should happen to the Century buildings? Do you have any memories of this place when it was still in use? Perhaps you or your family members worked here during its manufacturing days? We'd love to hear your stories and thoughts in the comments below. This has been another episode of Joyful Adventure Audits, exploring Birmingham's forgotten buildings. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more of Birmingham's lost heritage, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And let us know in the comments which abandoned Birmingham building you'd like us to explore next. Until next time, keep exploring.
Brick walls whisper tales of old hands and gold. Time carved its mark where secrets unfold. A jeweler's dream now, shadows cling. A forgotten symphony where silence sings. Powell Street's winds dance through broken glass. Echoes of wealth now trapped in the past. Laughter and labor now ghosts on parade. In a town where memories slowly fade. Frozen in time yet they stand so still. These walls of heartache on the corners will. Abandoned but breathing, a story untold. The spark of a century now left in the cold. Once a crown of craft through soot and steam, now decay paints over a lost dream. Industrial veins ran through this town. Now rust and ruin wear it down. Hidden in shadows where history weeps, lonely as it watches the city's leaves. Century buildings stand as a scar, reminders of glory that feel so far. Frozen in time yet they stand so still. These walls of heartache on the corners will. Abandoned but breathing, a story untold. The spark of a century now left in the cold. Gold once glinted on these streets, now it turns to dust. A city rich with metal dreams, now a shell of rust. Great two walls stand tall but hollow, ghosts of time reside. Promises of bright tomorrow, lost in urban tides. Century buildings fade away, where did glory go? History crumbles every day beneath the urban flow. Dreams of craftsmen, smelted pride, dissolve beneath the rain. Birmingham's jewels scatter wide, a heritage in pain. Streets that sang with clinking tools now echo silent cries. Sparkle in the city's veins dims under ashen skies. Redevelopment whispered hope, but rot begins anew. The past forgotten heartbeat fades, what's left for us to view? Century buildings fade away, where did glory go? History crumbles every day beneath the urban flow. Dreams of craftsmen, smelted pride, dissolve beneath the rain. Birmingham's jewels scatter wide, a heritage in pain. Signs once carved with love and care decay with every storm. Bricks that built a legacy, now shadows without form. The hands that shaped the gold are gone, their whispers in the stones. Birmingham, don't let your soul be stripped down to the bone. Each day the heart of history beats a weaker tune. Preservation struggles on, but could it end too soon? The city's veins of precious lore, now heartache in disguise. Will we restore the glint or watch it all capsize?